Thank you. Now I'm ready to go home. What I'm going to talk about today is the design entrepreneur. This is first of all, a little introduction. This is a program that I co-chair in New York City. It's an MFA of design program. It's been going on for 12 years. There is one copy of this book in the bookstore down the road. So if you all hurry after you leave the talk, or after you leave the last talk, you might be able to all share it. Tear out one page at a time. This is a program that I conceived because I felt that 12 years ago, we were coming to the end in the United States of the traditional graphic designer as a service person, somebody that just worked for other people and did what they were asked to do. Now, this is the traditional role of a graphic designer. A graphic designer never particularly leads the parade, but is always an integral part of the parade. My feeling was that with new media, with the computer, with all the things that the computer was going to offer and offered at that point on your desktop, it was possible to produce, conceive, create, and produce your own products, your own entrepreneurial products, which meant understanding what design is, what entrepreneurship is, what business is. It meant going to the next level of creation and creativity and production. And by the way, the design here seems to be off. Maybe you don't have the same fonts. So, the design entrepreneur has a history behind it. It wasn't just my idea, it wasn't my co-chair's idea. This is an idea that got started with William Morris and the arts and crafts movement. The notion that artists had all the tools at their disposal, all the skills and all the crafts at their disposal to actually make things that went to market. Now, the market could be 5 people or it could be 5 million people. But the notion there is you are your client. So if you're going to fire a client, you have to fire yourself. Now, it's not as idealistic as it sounds. If you create something, there still has to be an audience. There has to be a viable plan for making it go to the marketplace and trying to be successful or a failure. Historically, as I said, William Morris produced books, furniture, and other things. The Bauhaus was a very significant entrepreneurial venture in addition to being a revolutionary design school. They produced products that they hoped would be affordable by a middle class in Germany and elsewhere. And how many of you know Ray and Charles Eames? Or know the work of Ray and Charles Eames? Those of you who don't, and it seems like most of you don't, check on it. Go on the internet. Google. Ray and Charles Eames are the spiritual mentors of the entrepreneurial movement, if you want to call it that. They were designers in a variety of media, including architecture, including interiors, including furniture, including graphics and film. And so this all-encompassing, holistic view of design is what the designer as author and the designer as entrepreneur is all about. This is probably their most famous work, the Eames chair, and you probably know this one. I actually had one, but I didn't like the way it felt, so I gave it to my friend Seymour Quast, who immediately proceeded to drop paint all over it, so now it's worthless. But he likes sitting in it. At our program, at the MFA design program, the idea is to have a thesis. And the thesis is, what does the world need that it doesn't have already? Or what could be improved by a designer's hand in the process? Meaning, what kind of product will have value and function in the world? It could be social value, it could be cultural value, and it could be commercial value. There's nothing wrong with making money off of something. One of our most famous products in the United States is not this bottle, but this bottle of medicine is what inspired it. Deborah Adler was a student, and she came up with an idea for a product that we all agreed on, which was quite wonderful, and it was for curly hair. She did it based on me. And she had a lot of curly hair. And the idea with all these products starts with autobiography. You have to have something that you're passionate about. What is it that you would like to spend 2 years doing? What is it that you would like that you feel others would like? And you have to actually prove that. It's not anecdotal. Deborah came in with the hair product. We loved it. We said it'll probably work. Go ahead. It was a full-fledged pitch. She covered all the bases. She came in the next week and said, I can't do it. It's too trivial. But what I want to do is change medicine packaging. Because my grandmother nearly took the wrong medicine. She could have died. She didn't. She didn't even get sick. But nonetheless, it was a real issue for her, and it was close to her heart. So she first dealt with it typographically. She changed all of the confusing nomenclature on the packaging. She also changed the shape of the fundamental package. We have a workshop at School of Visual Arts where she made the plastic prototypes. She did this packaging. You know, she put a few different brands on it. It could work at Target. It could work at Duane Reade. It could work at any of the drug companies that were around. We actually told her that we loved the idea, but we didn't think it would go anywhere because there's too much bureaucracy in the United States in the drug business and in the retail business. But she felt, and she proved to us through a very detailed pitch book that this would work. And then she made the prototypes, and as you can see here, one of the issues on these bottles is when do you take it? Well, the riser shows when you can take it. Who owns the pill in the house? If you have a pill, is it the same color and same bottle as my pill? Yeah, it's very confusing now. So she did a color coding, so each person in a family would have a different color pill. Ultimately, she changed that. She presented it at her thesis. We passed her with flying colors. She went to work for Milton Glejzer. Another 6 degrees of separation with Milton on the wall here. And Milton really took a liking to this project. Milton knew somebody at Target, as you might have heard in the movie the other night, brought it to Target. Target, it just so happened, was rolling out a whole new drugstore in every one of their large box stores, and they felt this would be the great thing to help identify their product and put them on the map. So Deborah worked with an industrial designer in Brooklyn to come up with the bottle shape, which was revolutionary. She used her basic typographic scheme. She has the color coding that was key to the concept, and ultimately it was rolled out nationally with big ads on television and in the magazines. I mean, this was quite amazing and quite an investment. She made a fair amount of money off of it. She did something that was good for people. She made an inroad and won many awards for it for doing this. So there was social entrepreneurship and commercial entrepreneurship rolled into one. This, I hope we have sound. Well, we don't seem to have sound, so I'll tell you as it's... no, we got to go back. I hate computers. I like X-Acto blades, except I used to cut off the top of my fingers. So, you got it?
So, I would just put on like a cap on top of my hair inside and just get in the car and drive.
Now, instead of covering up, this student, artist, and activist is encouraging women to stand up for the right to sit behind the wheel. It's all part of Khan's MFA project, which is on view here at the School of Visual Arts Gallery on West 26th Street. It's called We the Women, and through her website and these downloadable bumper stickers, people participate by putting their own thoughts into the idea bubbles.
The argument is that, well, in the time of the Prophet, women used to ride camels, so how is that any different now? And then there's another argument that, well, having a driver is actually a privilege and you're treated like a queen, so why would you ever want anything else? But if you can't afford to have a driver, then you're not that lucky.
Khan says while the forum is open to all sides of the debate, the project is a campaign for change, which is reflected in the logo.
It's basically the female icon, but she's wearing the agad, which is the ring that men wear over their headdress traditionally. So it in itself is like a symbol for rebellion.
We the Women is one of 19 socially conscious design projects on view here. Lead